This is News with the Disney Dude. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel for more content, and please hit that thumbs up if you like the video. Here now's the news for Monday, February 23rd of 2026. Hope you all had a great weekend. More concrete and pavement construction continues outside of Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin in the Magic Kingdom. Of course, this ride is supposed to reopen sometime this spring. What does that mean? I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, March, April, who knows? Who knows? But they are continuously working on this project, getting this ready to reopen. So as soon as we know a date, as soon as we know, you'll know. All right. Live artist removal provokes social media criticism for new Disney World Animation Academy at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So the good thing is they are bringing back animation to Disney's Hollywood Studios. The bad thing is they are not having a live person teaching the class. This is different than the animation experience that used to be held in Rafiki's Planet Watch, where it was the class was taught by a real Disney animator. This time around, it will not be hosted by a real Disney animator, which a lot of people are, not happy with. Which I understand. I get it. I get why they're upset. There's not that live interaction anymore. It used to be when Disney Animation was at Hollywood Studios and then moved over to Animal Kingdom. You used to after you did your drawing, you used to go up to the animator and speak for just a few moments about your drawing or about the program, and you could ask the animator to critique your work, which is great for aspiring animators, to take those lessons and then use them in your whenever you started your animation career. That's not what's happening this time. There is no live animator. Who is it going to be hosted by? We're going to get to that story in just a minute. But I'm going to hold off on that story for just a moment. But I understand. I totally understand why people are upset. It's another thing that Disney has taken away is, that live person interaction. The live person interaction makes all the difference. And I think that's what we're losing. We're losing that nowadays. We're losing that towards, only audio animatronic interactions or AI interactions or whatever. I think that's sad. I really think that's sad because, we as human beings, we need other human interactions. You know, we need that interaction, which is, you know, again, it makes me sad. It really, really makes me sad that human interaction will no longer be around. You know, it's just sad that we're losing it. It's sad that's the path that we're going down. Is that we're losing that human interaction, that human touch. Scaffolding arrives at Cinderella Castle moat as painting continues. This is, you know, fantastic. They have made significant amount of progress. Again, restoring Cinderella Castle to its, you know, restoring it back to its colors, its original colors, if you will. You know, I'm sure some people, you know, that love the pink are going to come in the comments. They're going to be like, well, I like the pink, and the pink served its purpose for the 50th celebration, but none of us hardcore Disney fans loved it. We were like, okay, you know, I'll be glad when that goes away. And then it never went away. And we're like, you know, well, Disney, are you ever going to get rid of this? Because this is garbage. This is not the way that Cinderella Castle is supposed to look. So, you know, I'm glad that they are, you know, starting to that they're going to restore the castle to its original colors. And if you love the pink, I'm sorry, but you know, it's it is what it is. If you like the pink, which I don't know if, you know, I've never met a single person that loved the pink, but whatever. Disney files permit for former feature animation building at Walt Disney World. So way back when, back in my day, because I'm old, I am very old. Back in my day, at Disney's Hollywood Studios, or MGM Studios, if you want, there used to be an animation experience. So where Launch Bay is today, or was at this point, there used to be the magic of Disney animation. And that is where you would go and see real Disney animators work on, draw. You used to be able to watch them work on Disney classics. So, you know, whatever movie was being made at the time. I think that portions of The Little Mermaid was animated there. Portions of I think a lot of the Silver Age classics were animated at Hollywood Studios. Not a lot of it, but some sequences were animated at Hollywood or Disney MGM Studios, if you will, back in the day. So you used to be able to go and watch the animators work on, drawing sequences that would be used in the feature films. So that's what that animation building was for. And then, of course, as time went on, things changed and we got Launch Bay. So, thank God that's going away. You know, I know a lot of people are going to come in the comments and they're going to be like, Launch Bay was the greatest thing ever and blah, 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 blah. Was it? Was it? I really don't think so. There was, you know, a couple meet and greets and a 9-minute film that they stopped running after COVID hit. So then it was just meet and greet areas, and the building was waste. It was wasted dead space, and I'm like, you know what? This could be used for something else. This really could be used for something else. Now, I wished that that's where, you know, the Monsters Inc. themed land would have gone, but that didn't happen. You know, we lost Muppet Vision 3D for that and that area, but you know, I was like, man, Launch Bay needs to go. Launch Bay needs to go. It has served its purpose. It is time. And I'm glad that they're doing something with that, because that area was dead. It was an absolute ghost town. Now, I'm sure that back in the day before COVID, it was, you know, it was busier since they had the short film in that area, as well as the meet and greets. But man, after COVID happened, and after the shutdown, and after, you know, things started reopening, it's like, what, you know, why is Launch Bay still there? Why is Launch Bay still there? That's just a waste of a dead space. So I am glad that they are doing something with that space. Themed Coca-Cola signs have been added to Sleepy Hollow refreshments in the Magic Kingdom. I haven't seen them in person yet. I am going tomorrow to the Magic Kingdom, so I will be able to see them for myself. But from the I have seen pictures, and they look fantastic. They're in theme. They fit the theme of Liberty Square. They look great. So so from the pictures, they look great. I haven't seen them in person, but I will get to see them tomorrow. So, but from the pictures, they look great. They look absolutely great. They're in theme. They fit in that area, which is fantastic. All right. And now comes the story that I've been having you wait for. The new Animation Academy experience will be hosted by an audio animatronic, Olaf. So, again, you know, the live animator will not be there. This is going to be it will be hosted by an audio animatronic, Olaf, which this is another one of those projects where I'm excited for, but on the other hand, I'm like, oh, you know, I don't really see the need why we had to lose a live cast member, because even with the Olaf audio animatronic, maybe after the show, there could have been an animator on hand, and you could have, you know, they could have given you critiques and stuff. So it's like, you know, okay, I don't know, all right, but you know, this. So you know, in case you aren't aware, this whole experience is a takeoff on the short film that Disney did for the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company. So this, one of the sequences in that short film is Olaf drawing at a animator's table. So that's what this is. It's themed around the Once Upon a Studio. It's themed around that. So that's why Olaf is going to be part of of the experience. But I understand. I get I get why people are so upset. On the other hand, I'm like, I think that'll be really neat. That'll be really neat, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments how you feel. But on one hand I'm excited. On the other hand, I'm like, do we really have to lose a live person? Entrance sign has been covered at Rafiki's Planet Watch, since it is now closed at Disney's Animal Kingdom. So obviously, that whole area is closed right now. The rumor on the street is that the new Bluey experience is going to be opening up sometime this spring. I don't know. We don't know. That's just a rumor at this point. So the whole thing could not be closed very long, but we don't know. That's just a rumor at this point. Disney hasn't come out and said when the new Bluey experience will be opening. But as soon as we know something, you'll know something. All right. Once again, it is cold here in Central Florida. So a freeze watch has now been issued for Central Florida. It is going to be pretty cold tomorrow. Not as cold as it was the last time. The last time I think it was like 46 degrees, I think, the last time. This time it's going to be 59 degrees or 60 degrees. So it won't be as chilly, but just keep that in mind, that it's still going to be chilly. It's still going to be pretty cold. So if you're heading out to the parks tomorrow like I am, please, wear your jeans, wear your jacket, dress warmly. Please dress warmly. Drunk Indiana man tries to break into the House of Blues and then terrorizes the M&M store at Disney Springs. So here we go. Here's another one of those, drunken stories again. Look, So this is the reason why I do not want alcohol served at Walt Disney World. Okay, I'm sorry. I know I'm being a Debbie Downer. I know that I'm being a bit of a stick in the mud. But I mean, when we read stories like this, drunk people are terrorizing, places like Universal or Disney Springs or any of the Walt Disney World theme parks. It's like, do we really need to have alcohol in the theme parks or at Disney Springs? Again, I know people are going to come after me. I'm sorry. I am sorry that you feel that way, that you feel the need to get drunk on your vacation. But I don't see that. I just don't. I don't agree. I do not agree with that. I think that that is really, really stupid. That's really idiotic. There's a time and a place to drink. Okay, and at Disney, that's not the place. That is not the place. I know that people are going to come after me and they're going to be like, well, you know, you're just stupid and you don't know what you're talking about. And I can't do the theme parks without alcohol and blah, 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 blah. Again, I'm sorry. But if you want to fight me on having alcohol in the theme parks, then please don't come here in the first place. Please do not come here in the first place. All right? Because if you're going to get drunk at a theme park where there are kids around, by the way, I might add, then you need a new hobby. You really need a new hobby. Okay? So, I'm sorry. I'm always going to be the one that, you know, is going to be a stick in the mud and be like, you know, we should not have alcohol at all in these theme parks or at Disney Springs. Okay? You know, it's a little bit easier for me to swallow to have it at Disney Springs, you know, but it's like, you know, I'm sorry. I just don't see the appeal. I don't see the appeal. Why can't you just have fun, enjoying the day with your family instead of just getting drunk and causing trouble? I just don't get it. I don't get it. But, you know, let me know in the comments how you feel. I'm sure people are going to come after me, but I don't care. I really don't care. You know, that's one of the hills that I'm going to die on, is we should not have alcohol at the theme parks. We just shouldn't, okay? Big Thunder Mountain Railroad continues testing geysers and trains at Walt Disney World. We are getting ready for that spring reopening. Again, when is that reopening? Say it with me, kids. We will wait and find out. We will wait and see. But, you know, spring, it could be March, it could be April, it could be later in April, it could be May. Who knows? Who knows when, you know, when spring, you know, when that spring reopening date will be. But you know, I am really excited. I am really excited for this Big Thunder Mountain Railroad update. I am really, really happy. Wait time signs and awning have been removed at former Star Wars launch bay and animation courtyard. I already went over that, so I don't, you know, I've already been down that road of that rant and everything, so I'm not going to go through that again. But the only thing is, you know, I will say this, you know, I'm glad that it's leaving. I'm glad that it's gone. I am really, really, really glad that Star Wars launch bay is gone. You know, it would just seem to me that, you know, Star Wars would be in one spot instead of just all over the place. I mean, you have Star Tours on one side. You have Galaxy's Edge, okay? And then you had Launch Bay. And it's like, what? What? You know, why couldn't you just have that all together? You know? So, you know, I'm glad that there's not an overabundance of Star Wars now. And, you know, it's, you know, we're just going to have Galaxy's Edge and we're going to have Star Tours. Okay? So, you know, I'm happy that, you know, it's not going to be a mishmash of Star Wars everywhere. And Star Wars is just going to be in a, you know, in a confined space, you know, well, kind of confined space. I mean, Star Tours is kind of a little bit, you know, farther than Galaxy's Edge, but what are you going to do with it at this point? But so but I am glad that Star Wars has that, has Star Tours, and then you can go to Launch Bay, and or Galaxy's Edge, excuse me, instead of going to Launch Bay, Star Tours, and then you got to go back to Launch Bay. I'm glad that it's going to be in one, pretty much in one big area. So that'll be nice. That's great. That's great, and not just a mishmash of stuff. You have to have cohesiveness. And our last story is Dino Land merchandise is still available at Disney's Animal Kingdom. It was obviously available at Chester and Hester's. It was available at the Exit Gift Shop to Dinosaur. Obviously that's closed, so the remaining merchandise has been moved to Island Mercantile and Discovery Traders. I think Island Mercantile more than Discovery Island Traders. So but if you want to get some of this merchandise, I would act very quickly, because once that stuff is gone, it is going to be gone forever. So I would gobble up your dinosaur merchandise while you can, because that's not going to be around forever. That will not be around forever. So, but there you are. There are your stories for this Monday. Again, if you like this video of me ranting and raving, please hit that like button. Again, please subscribe to this channel for more content. I thank you guys very much for watching this video. I will see you right back here on Wednesday for a Wednesday show. Until then, y'all keep each other safe and healthy. And remember that tomorrow is just a dream away.